Hey everybody, this is Drew. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to get started on this, and previous video I did an inbox review of this kit. Just a refresher, it's a Hasegawa 1/72 scale F-14A Tomcat in the high visibility scheme, which makes it very colorful, and it's in the light gull gray color instead of the darker ghost gray tactical colors. And so I'm going to get going on this. And again, everybody, I appreciate you joining me here. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. I do appreciate it. This is a lot of fun connecting with the modeling community. And all right, here we go. So the first step is going to be to do the cockpit assembly. So I'm going to do the assembly first before I start painting stuff. And so I'm going to go ahead and build the seats. I'll probably paint those separate before I put them in, and because the sides of them are usually black. And I'll hand paint the seats, and then I'll install the control sticks, and we'll do the control panels separate. All right, so let's get going. Okay, everybody, let me pause here and show you what I've done. As you can see, I got all the decals on the instrument consoles and also on the instrument panels. Okay, pretty good. And then on the ejection seats, I painted the seat cushions with some Vallejo dark yellow, and also there's a little decal that goes here, and you won't see that until you start looking through the manual and instructions, and it shows them here. And I want to thank Greg. He's another YouTube modeler. His YouTube channel is stevethefish.net, and he built this kit several years ago. And so I've been watching it just to see, where maybe some issues are and stuff. And he reminded me, or he pointed out to me, that the decals for the ejection seats, they're not in the main, part of the instructions here, and so might be advisable to put those on before. And I also fashioned some pull handles, and I just used some wire that, where'd it go? Here we go. I saved these twist ties from either like loaves of bread or if you've got trash bags, and I keep these because I like the wire in them. And another tip I got from Greg is you just wrap them around a toothpick and basically make them that way. And a little super glue, and they look okay. I mean, they're not perfect. It's hard to paint the yellow. They look okay from a distance, so kind of happy about that. And so I'm ready to start putting these into the cockpit. And so these go in here. This so this one goes here. Okay. Also, let me show you. I got the crew members painted up. It's frickin' frack. And this guy, he's going to have a problem with his legs not fitting. So we'll probably have to do a little surgery on that. But I gave him red helmets because we're doing the sundowners, so I thought it would be kind of cool. And I painted them with some Vallejo flat red, and then put a little gloss varnish on the helmet. So, and again, they're small, and it's going to look okay from a distance. I'll probably have the canopy closed. Alright guys, you have to forgive me, my voice is pretty shot. I started feeling sick a couple days ago, and I did a COVID test and tested positive for COVID. So it's like a really bad cold, and so I'm just staying indoors and just resting a lot. So okay, I'm going to move forward with getting all this stuff glued together and getting everything ready to seal up the front part of the nose. Okay, here we go.
I'm going to use the black basing technique and just prime everything in black Stynylrez primer. And then I'll go over it with some highlights of white, gray paint, and some khaki color. The idea is to give some tonal variation when I put the light gold gray base color on top. And just kind of give it a little bit of worn paint look to break up the monotone color. So after painting, I gave everything a gloss coat and started putting the decals on, and did not get all the decals on camera. So this is just one, and they went down okay. They're a little thick, but they reacted pretty well to Solvaset. After the decals, I'm going to do a little bit of weathering. Here I'm using some Flory clay-based washes, and you just wipe them on, let them dry, and wipe them off. Even though this has raised panel lines, you can still get a wash on. Just make sure you wipe them off in the direction of airflow, and yeah, give it a little bit of a dirt look to it. I want to simulate the grime streaking effect that you see on Tomcats where the wings retract, and you'll see this picture here. And I just let the wash dry, and I saw this technique used by Greg at stevethefish.net and Sean at Prime Model Works, both YouTube modelers. And basically you just let your wash dry, and you hold down a Q-tip and open and close your wings, and gives that streaking effect. So it worked pretty well. So I'm using some super glue to put all the landing gear, the gear doors, the ordnance, and about to wrap it up. I use a red Sharpie marker to do the outline of the gear doors on these Navy planes. I find I have a little bit more control than using a paintbrush, especially in this scale. Still mess up every now and then, and you got to wipe it off a little bit with some alcohol, but I think it works pretty well.
Okay guys, I did the last little things off camera, which was to attach the little probes on the sides and the pitot tube on the front. I unmasked the canopy, and I also painted the lights all around the aircraft. So you got green lights on the starboard side and red lights on the port side. And I'm going to call it done. You know, for a kit this age, I was really impressed with how well it fit. I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah, I know people poo-poo on raised panel lines. I get that, but you can still get some washes on it, and you don't have to do a lot of sanding on this kit. So basically, a lot of your raised detail stays, and you don't have to sand it off. But turn it around here for you. I don't have a little turntable, but I have to admit, at the end, I started getting really sloppy, and I made some stupid mistakes. It's hard to find a place to grab this without breaking something off. So here we go. I made some mistakes, and you live and you learn. One of the mistakes I made was this decal here on this vertical stabilizer. Got some fuzz on there. I made the mistake on this by gluing these on with model glue, and usually I can get away with it on smaller pieces and things like that. But I had already had a lot of paint and primer on it, and it literally just gummed up. It wouldn't set. So I pulled it off. In doing so, I tore the decal up right here, because this is a decal. This decal goes all the way around, or all the way down the side, and then get my pointer, and then goes this way. So I had to repaint. I'd paint that by hand. And I don't know. It looks all right, I guess. It kind of irritates me. That was kind of the big thing that I screwed up. I can't seem to build a model without screwing something up. I don't know why, but I misread the directions, or get something misaligned or whatever. And you can see underneath there one of the things I have trouble with is round parts like these drop tanks, and even some of the missiles. When you have to sand off seam lines, sometimes I get them out of round, and it just frustrates me. And also on these drop tanks, there was some raised panels, and you kind of sand those off. So I added some wash to it to give it some dirt look. But see that there, and I painted this, the arrestor hook. There is no decal for that, and I just used thin strips of Tamiya tape and base painted it white, and then wrapped some tape around at different intervals. And may not be perfectly accurate, but it looks the part. Looks pretty cool. But yeah, there she is. And again, I got a little sloppy on the gear doors on the insides with the red. I use a Sharpie marker. Sometimes you go over and get a little bit of red on the white parts, but I just have to go back and touch it up with a brush. But overall, I think it came out okay. I mean, I know I could do better. Again, there's some parts where I got a little sloppy. There was some issue with the finish I was getting, and I hate to say it, but I was having issues with my Stynorez primer, and it was going down and leaving a really gritty surface. And I actually switched and did some priming with some Vallejo black primer, and I'm not sure. I know that for a while there were some bad batches of Stynylrez res primer during the pandemic, and I've had my primers for a while, but during the pandemic there were some bad batches because they had to substitute some ingredients, and that may be what's wrong with it. But I got some gritty texture paints up in these areas, right up in here, but you can't really see it, so I think that's okay. But I'll leave it like that. And this is a really inexpensive kit. I saw they're still on. You can still buy these for like $11 or $12 on online retailers. And again, if you're looking for a Tomcat, a cheap one that would go on your look nice on your shelf, then this is a good one to get. But there she is. My canopy masking, it's getting better, but not the best. But and my canopy kind of got off center when I was moving it around, and I didn't want to pry it off because that just causes more issues. So I just want to leave it like it is. It's a little off kilter, but let's see if you can see down inside the cockpit. Maybe a little bit. Yeah. Those decals are pretty nice. Instrument panel decals, so. Well, there she is, guys. And this will be my COVID build. I'm feeling a lot better. It's been 2 weeks since I tested positive for COVID, and I took a COVID test a couple days ago, and it was negative, but I still got some lingering sinus stuff going on, and but I feel pretty good. I don't have any fever or anything like that, but there we go. A lot of little decals for the missiles, and they went on pretty well. Overall, the decals are pretty good. They're a little thick, but I use Solvaset on all the decals, and there we go. All right, well, guys, appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I have a few pictures. You'll see a little slideshow, and there she is, guys. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys on the next build. Take care. See you guys. Bye-bye.